Hello again, traders. Right, believe it or not, it has taken me about 10 hours, 12 hours, no, 24 hours to make this video because Windows, in its infinite wisdom, decided to delete my microphone facility, not telling me, so I made what I thought was a really good video yesterday morning, about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's now 10:30 on Saturday morning, and I've spent the best part of all this time trying to produce a video as good as I produced 24 hours ago, so or before that rather. So thank you, Windows, for that. Anyway, long story short, all I wanted to show you was how I went through about 15 charts and annotated them, as it were, drew lines and levels on them in the time it takes me for my coffee to cool down, much same as this morning's video. Make a coffee, make a video while it's cooling. So what am I going to show you? Well, what I wanted to show you was how quickly you can use the watch list to flick through these charts with the 34 EMA, the Dragon, and find beautiful looking potential setups in moments. And one thing worth mentioning here is, you know, yesterday I posted a dozen charts or so, or whatever. Probably, I don't know, there were 3 or 4 good ones, but it's important to remember they are not to be traded blind. They are just good looking setups that show the 34 EMA in the right position, as it were, with price, and then we need to analyze the higher time frame to make sure we're trading in the direction of the higher time frame and the momentum's still there and it's still looking good to the long side if you're going long, and also the lower time frame for tighter entries. So using the lower time frame will get you into trades at the right time, or it will protect you from getting into trades that you shouldn't be in at that time. Also worth mentioning that I put in one of the previous 4 or 5 takes of this video is that, remember, the higher the time frame, the longer these trades take to come to fruition. So for example, this is a bit of an extreme example between the 15 and the weekly, but this Chewy chart looks fantastic on M15 for a pullback there, potential push up. The reason I like it is because we've got you know, if you look at the line chart, you can see we've got a clear line chart high there, broken by price, been retested as well. It's given way actually, so the sellers have overtaken the buyers in this instance, looking a bit iffy, but everything can change in one bar, pre-market of course, on Monday morning, or Monday morning in America should I say. But when you look at the weekly, just to show what I mean by potential charts taking ages to do what they should do, the weekly looks brilliant as well. Lovely 2B pattern there again, and levels broken on the weekly chart. Came back and tested it, continued, and this is a great looking weekly chart in terms of targets up there. But remember, if you consider entering on this, you could have bars and bars and bars, weeks of sideways on that, and that's the point I'm trying to make. 15-minute chart is intraday stuff, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. These H4 weekly, daily charts are for longer term traders, but a great looking potential setup there. So how do I populate this? In the simplest way, and I've talked about this on numerous videos about stocks, I literally just go and have a look at spin around the Twitter sphere, as it were, FinTwit, load up my bookmarks. So what I do is I search around FinTwit, add all the interesting lists to my bookmarks. It's simple as that. I don't care about the actual names, as long as they're liquid, as it were, as long as they're movers, strong, everyone's watching them, easy to get in and out of, and I don't care about fundamentals. All I do care about is earnings reports. Make sure that you know, you haven't got one of those looming in the next day or two, well, possibly just in the current day, because pre-earnings reports will create movements that follow the rules, and the same with post-earnings reports. If it's crashed for whatever reason, we could quite easily get into nice long trades. So all all I can really care about in my head is that we've got a decent list. The trader that's given us the list has got reasonable sort of followings and it is credible, and then I just add them to my watch list, and this is a random watch list. I've just called it one Mr. M by the look of it, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's worth mentioning now, I love this pattern and the way we can run through these so quickly that I've added all my FX pairs, all the cryptos that I watch, metals and commodities, because I can go through everything in the blink of an eye, create charts, draw levels, and even save them and upload them to Twitter, and do it all in one place, and then go to my chosen broker. I like my MT4 broker and the way it operates at the moment. I'm not familiar with this, but no doubt at some stage I will probably convert to trading with this as well. So that's it. So how do I use the actual, once I've loaded up a bunch of these things into this current watch list, whatever, I might call it today or tomorrow, or I might have it different values, I don't know, $30 to $50, $50 to $80, 80 to 110, and so on and so forth, and just name them that way. And so, you know, you can really get yourself fine-tuned for what you're up to trading. And while I mention it as well, or while I think of it, you know, I'm not a great well, I'm far from an expert in options and stocks, but I really love what Kay does, and also very interesting in what Olivia does. Olivia has proved she can turn numerous small accounts into doubling them and quadrupling them in a very small amount of time. When I say that, I'm talking about a 2,000 account up to about a 5,000 account in a week or two. Phenomenal trading. So it's worth remembering, whilst we can go through these and pick out dozens in a day, wait for one trade. Olivia's making $150, $200, $300 in one options intraday trade. Not intraday, sorry, daily trade. Yeah, it is intraday trade. Sorry, I've not had my first coffee yet. One little day trade, and she's made a day's money on a $2,000 account. So follow those guys. It can be done much the same as using leverage on forex. You can make a day's money out of 5 pips trading cable, just like Billy TT does on his Forex Factory thread. Brilliant thread, inspirational, all ex-professional traders, which I made a point of digging out, because I want to know. I don't want to hear about these 2 to 1 RR only traders and, go for 150 pips and only put a penny a pip and God knows what. I don't want to know about those. Show me a guy who makes $3,000 out of 5 pips, and I'll be following him until the earth turns cold. So back to this. So what I've done, arrange them from high to low or low to high, whichever you prefer, and then it struck me that going into the middle, so if we're at extreme highs of price movement, that particular close of day, previous day, or the current open of the new day, if we're at these extreme highs and lows, it stands to reason, in my opinion, we'll probably be pretty far away from the 34 MA. So it's a simple, logical filter to find these prices, charts that are sat on the 34 EMA that I want to get these 2B or 1, 2, 3 reversals off of. And I prefer to take longs, because I think most people are involved in longs. I've not really studied shorting them. So let's try and find an example. Watch this one, because I've not checked this. Watch this one be totally wrong. We would expect this to potentially be a long way below the 34 EMA. Well, that's a mess, because it's a random. Actually, well, it was way away from the 34 EMA. We can look at the line chart, but I was more interested in the fact that I like to see charts with candles. So we're miles away from the 34, which is what I expected that to be. Let's have a look at another one. Yet nowhere near the 34 in terms of being a sensible looking. I want it to be on it. Something like this, just gone through it, and as you can see, price absolutely exploded. RSI histo needs mentioning here. We've got the momentum triggers going on, So continuing with these, yet another one. I told you it was a random watch list, but the point is it's still miles away from the 34 EMA. That one's a little bit nearer, but we want to be trading when we're looking at these. We want to be trading all green to the downside, so there is a clear air situation going on there. And when we've finally broken above the 34 EMA, so I'd want to be up here, not entering there. You'd be entering flat. You want to be when it's curved up, which is why the TMA slope helps, but this is why we use this as well. So here we've got a situation that would have been interesting, not so much there, but you can see it's pulled back to the EMA, so it's giving you time to have your breakfast, do whatever you want to do, and then potentially get into that trade there. So that's how I use the watch list. It's just plain and simple. Look for the middle. They're likely to be nearer, in my opinion, the 34 EMA. Again, I don't like these messy ones. I prefer to, well, we can see why. I told you it was a random. It's a crappy, horrible excuse me, horrible priced chart. Let's get something that's better. Google. Yeah, that's looking nice. That's bullish off the 34 EMA. We've got a 1, 2, 3 higher low by the looks of it. Double bottom, to be fair, but it's not a 2B reversal. But having said that, we've got internal 2B, swing 1, 2, 3. You can see that one, swing 1, 2, 3. You want to enter the break of that. You want to enter the break of that. 3 candle reversals worth a mention here as well. We want to be the more 3 candle reversals in there, the more likely you are to have absolutely exhausted all the sellers, because you've exhausted them with the first one. We remember that that's what a 2B is. It's a break of resistance, a break of the sellers. Buyers are in control. They come back to see whether, that's the pullback scenario, come back to see whether sellers can overwhelm the buyers. They can't, and then we drop down to the lower time frame and get our entry off of that. Look at the 3CR videos I've made to understand what I'm talking about there. So that's it, guys. That's all there is to say about this. Fly through these in moments. Look for the best looking possibilities. We want to see A++ or AAA, triple plus trades. There's a 2B going on there. That's in no man's land. We want to be above as many MAs as we can be. We want to be turned up. But you will find, if you check everything, make a checklist, perhaps put it here in actual writing, check the RSI histo, there's no momentum there. That's momentum. Look what happened. No momentum, we're sideways below MAs. That's because it's testing. That's what's going on there. Have a look at another one. No, we're below the EMAs, so I'm not interested. Facebook, that's looking interesting. Would want to be above all of this area here. Look at the line chart and that will become clearer. Above that area, oops, above that area there, and I've lost my RSI histo, double click, there you go, and everything will fulfill itself. The lower time frame, it will probably be perfect. The RSI histo will probably be perfect. You'll have a 3 candle reversal, and then you've got a clear target there. So, you know, what could be simpler than flicking through a bunch of these charts and finding perfect setups? That's not nice at all. Long way from the MAs as well, so that's the rubber band effect coming into play. As I say, these aren't loaded recently. A lot of them are rubbishy old tickers before I knew what was what, really. But that's looking interesting. It's above all of this resistance here. This was probably part of take 5 of this video, and you've got clear air to the left hand side, and then you just need to use your lower time frames and higher time frames to make sure everything looked right for your entry. So that's it. Loading your watch list, using your watch list, using the 34 Dragon, 3 different 34 EMAs there, the high, low and close all on the close of the candle, but that's not really that important. And then just fly through them and find the best looking examples. That's interesting. That's one I don't think I've looked at before, but that's perfect. There's a 2B reversal going on there, so that would be the resistance high that you'd want to break, the level that broke the low there, that wick. And once it breaks above there, everything on your RSI would probably look right, and you've got a nice slot of red to the left hand side, in other words clear air. So thanks for watching, have a great Saturday.